Welcome to day 317 of the New Way. I'll read Matthew 27, 1 and 2. Early in the morning, all the chief priests and the elders of the people made their plans how to have Jesus executed. So they bound him, led him away, and handed him over to Pilate, the governor. And I'll read John 18, 28 and 29. Then the Jewish leaders took Jesus from Caiaphas to the palace of the Roman governor. By now it was early morning, and to avoid ceremonial uncleanness, they did not enter the palace because they wanted to be able to eat the Passover. So Pilate came out to them and asked, "What charges are you bringing against this man?" This part of the Roman trial took place outside the palace in the front courtyard or garden. According to God's law, you could not partake of the Passover feast or Seder if you were unclean or had touched anything that was unclean. Isn't it amazing that the Pharisees were attempting to murder an innocent man by lying and bringing false accusations, but they were more concerned about being able to eat the upcoming Seder meal? They did not enter the praetorium. They just sent word to Pilate to come out to them so that they would not become unclean. Jesus taught that he came to fulfill or complete the law and to establish a new way. Because of Jesus' death, he can cleanse us deep down inside, something that ceremonial laws can never do. Paul taught that God's laws were designed to teach the Israelites that it was impossible to stay clean without God's help. That was on day 74. God's law was supposed to teach the Jews how hopelessly sinful and lost they were, and that they needed a Messiah, a Savior, to remove their uncleanness. Instead, the Pharisees took God's laws and expanded them and turned them into burdensome and frustrating rules. Instead of the rules pointing them to God, they had become a religion of their own. In Jesus' day, the Jewish people were living under this expanded version of Jewish laws called the Talmud, and were trying to earn their way to God instead of looking for the Messiah. I have searched the book of law in Leviticus, the book with most of God's law in it, and I cannot find a law that prohibited a person from entering a Gentile house. So I assume that this was one of the expanded laws created by the Pharisees and written in their Talmud. When we create a man-made religion, it causes us to reject the free gift of salvation that Jesus came to give. So here we have the Jewish leaders refusing to come into a Gentile house, a law that I can't find in God's rules. Please correct me if you can find it. Yet they were willing to lie in order to get an innocent man murdered. When you are empty, Satan can be at the controls of your life, and your mind can become totally out of balance. We're going to stop here, but continue this discussion next time. In his service, Dale.